AHAVA blessings and welcome to this week's Desert Rose reading. And I will also be talking about the full moon in Capricorn. And so let's just come into our center a little bit. And I'm going to be here for a little while with you. So let's just put our hands on our heart and breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And we're going to chant the AHAVA one time. Inhale. Inhale. And exhale. And so AHAVA is love and service, love and action, and we unite heaven and earth in our heart center. So let's situate ourselves where we are within the cycles, right? We are in the portal, the month of Tammuz, Cancer, and I've spoken about this month. It's very powerful. The energies are extremely, extremely strong. It is the most powerful month of the year because there are so many opportunities to access the light, yet at the same time, we can fall into our darkness, we can fall into our ego, we can fall into the monkey mind. And so we are called in this month of Tammuz, Cancer, to really be in service and be in devotion. This is the reason why in many spiritual lineages, especially the Desert Rose lineage, the Christ lineage, pilgrimages were part of the sacred prayer and devotion and experience of the month of Tammuz, Cancer. And so let's start with the cards that we have chosen. I chose them as a group because we do this together, all of you listening, and I really tune into that. And then we're going to talk about the full moon and how this reading connects to the full moon in Capricorn. And so today, for this week, I'm choosing two cards. Well, we have chosen two cards. And I'm doing what is called the bait spread. And the bait spread is explained in the handbook for the Desert Rose Oracle cards. And bait is the second letter of the Aramaic Hebrew alphabet. It is also the first letter of the Genesis, of the creation story, because it is the letter of the Bereshit. Bereshit is the first word, and it means creation, creating infinitely. And so the bait spread is always about birthing something. And the reason I thought it was very important to choose the bait spread to do in Sacred Circle in community is because bait governs Saturn. Bait gave birth to Saturn, the planet Saturn. And this full moon in Capricorn, we all know, and if you don't know, I'll explain that Saturn is the planet that governs the energy of Capricorn. So the bait letter is about birthing something. It is also about the womb and the home. And so I really love that sense of womb, home, because the sun is in Cancer and the moon is in Capricorn. So we're already finding two beautiful energies of the Capricorn Cancer frequency, this polarity, this sacred marriage within the bait. And this is why I thought it would be so beautiful to do the bait spread. And so bait is really connected to the number 2 as duality coming into unity. So the two cards that came out are very powerful. And the first one is Imma Illah. This is just an absolutely amazing card. And Imma Illah is actually the guiding frequency of the Desert Rose B mentorship. And it's a beautiful mentorship that I guide and facilitate about awakening the voice, connected to our sound frequency, and connecting to sacred sound and to music and the frame drum. And Imma Illah actually is the cosmic womb, the cosmic divine mother. She is even more ancestral and ancient than any mother that we can think of. And just look at Imma Illah. And we can see how the words Allah in Aramaic for mother, father, and Allah in Arabic come from this Ilah. And so this is a very, very powerful card because it's all about going to the essence, going back into the origin, right? Going back into that place of creation before creation existed, which is the Bereshit, right? And she's all about understanding the moment that we came into this world, understanding that sacred contract, that sacred moment that we were birthed. Because in this polarity of Cancer and Capricorn, Cancer is wanting to birth something new, something from the inner world, something that we want to bring in, birth in about ourselves, right? It is the soul. Whereas we've got the Capricorn energy, which is birthing through manifesting, that type of birthing, manifesting something into the tangible form. So it's a really, really beautiful play of energies here. And so the Imma Illah is about connecting to the sound frequency of creation, going back to the womb of the Divine Mother. And it's so beautiful because traditionally in the portal of Tammuz, Cancer, this is when Yohanan, the baptizer, would do his great baptisms on many holy people and people who went on long pilgrimages just to receive the waters of Jordan through Yohanan. And Yohanan worked with this essence of creation, right? Worked with the purification of the sexual energy. And so Imma Illah is all about this beautiful essence of creation and tapping into it. So it's a very Cancerian energy, very Tammuz energy in the light, of course. And then the other card that came out for us is Miryai Noohra. And just want to show it to you. And so this frequency of Miryai Noohra means so much to me because Miryai Noohra is one of the names of Mary Magdalene. In the Gospel of the Nazarenes, they talk about Miryai Noohra, Mary Magdalene, as coming from a very wealthy family, her father a high priest, and then she leaves everything behind to go with the Nazarenes, to go with the Essenes. And at first, her father didn't believe that she would do that, right? Because she was very well educated. And she left everything and she went to dress in white and walked barefoot so that everyone would understand her commitment to prayer, her commitment to purity, her commitment to Allah and the sacred path that she had chosen. And so even though this card has many meanings, and I do describe the many meanings in the handbook, what I'm receiving right now is all about letting go of the ego, letting go of all of the different personalities that we think we are, letting go of who we think we are, what we think we are, right? Our culture, our nationality, letting go of all of that. Just let go of everything and be the pure soul essence, our truth. And this is so beautiful to be able to manifest and experience. I feel this a lot when I do a novena, when I do a 9-day devotional journey. We just finished a prayer novena to the Black Madonna. This was something free. You can still access it on my online platform, and I'll leave the link below because it will only be available in the month of Tammuz. Okay, but you can do it throughout this month. And these were prayers to the Black Madonna. And just by reciting a prayer every day and sharing that prayer every day, I really felt that emptiness, the unbecoming, right? Just that emptiness, the void. And if we put these two cards together, imagine the unbecoming, the emptiness, the void, to access the true essence of creation, to access Imma Illah and be in that frequency. And the beauty of going into that frequency, traveling into that frequency, and then being rebirthed again, right? After being washed and bathed with the light of Imma Illah. And so this is a very, very powerful reading. And the reading isn't just for this week, the reading is for this full moon. And I was really meditating with the energy of Capricorn. It is an energy that I know very well. I'm a Cancerian, but my rising sign is Capricorn. It has been my gift, but at times my difficult, right? Because we all know that the energy is very difficult. And so this full moon is at 11 degrees. I mean, that is the one and the one. The one and the one, the two pillars of the birth canal. Again, the bait, right? And, you know, new moons are about the inner world, starting in the darkness, and full moons are about the outer world and receiving the activations, because when we have a full moon, our serpent energy, our kundalini is quite strong. It becomes activated. The waters become activated, and this is why sometimes we can't sleep, or we have a lot of energy, or maybe there's a lot of chaos, right? Because the full moon does activate our water. And so being it in Capricorn, and Saturn being the governor of Capricorn, and Saturn in Pisces, this is so beautiful, right? Because Saturn is all about our individual karma, just like Capricorn. Saturn is restrictive, right? Extremely restrictive. And when we work with Saturn, we understand that we have to work for things in life. And we understand that we are abundance, we are love, we are goodness, yet we need to access them. And how do we access them? By removing the false layers of everything that we have used to define ourselves, right? And this includes different programmings that we have received from our lineage, our blood lineage, physical lineage here, and also society. And so Saturn being in Pisces is so beautiful because it's like an activation of understanding where our commitment is to our spiritual path. Because Saturn is about commitment, committing to ourselves, ultimately, right? And committing to our work, committing to our family, committing to our practice. And here there's an expansion of what it means to commit to our spiritual practice, right? And so when we receive this beautiful reading that is connected to the bait, right? Because this is the reading of the bait, the two, right? The 11, the one and the one that birth something new. And when the one and the one come together, the divine child is born. And so we have this Cancer, Capricorn energy, the mother, the father, right? The inner world, the womb, and the outer world, that beautiful balance. So what if we could just receive the activations of becoming emptied? And this is very important. To become empty does not mean that we have to liberate, oh, I need to liberate this and that, and I need to get this person out of my life. That's important because that's energy moving. To become empty is to make space, to make space. To become emptied is to slow down, to be present, to pray, to chant, whatever your practice is, whatever is that time that you take every day to connect to Source, to connect to your soul, that divine communion of soul and incarnation and body, right? And so what if we could just become emptied and return to our true essence, to find the Imma Illah, because her frequency lives within us. She is the void, she is the darkness, she is the light in the darkness of creation. She is the eternal sound vibration, the eternal feminine, the eternal birther, right? And so we become emptied and we can access her frequency. We can go back to that point of the Bereshit, that moment where we are creation creating infinitely. And what if we just could do this and then express and expand to the outer world with this truth and holding this light? And so the message that the cards are giving us for this full moon is that the more we go in, the deeper we dive in, the more we become emptied and we access the eternal frequency of creation, the more truth there is when we expand into the external world. And what is expanding into the external world? The more truth we experience and express in our relationships, in our work, in our abundance, in our health. Anything that is external, just take a moment. Think of what is external, right? There's so much, the world. Imagine expanding in love in our relationships, expanding, right, in our creations, in our work, in our family. And so this is a very, very, very powerful reading, and it is a reminder through the presence of Mary Magdalene as Miryai Noohra that sometimes we just need to undress ourselves, become naked, take out all of the extra things that we dress ourselves with, right? Take off my earrings, my bracelets, my rings, take all of that off and just, we're emptied. Nothing can define us. Only the soul, only the light, only the frequency. And so let us remember this and let us be activated by the beauty of the Capricorn full moon. Remember to see where you have Capricorn in your natal chart, in your houses, to see what houses are becoming activated. That activation will bring a light to where there is darkness and will help us release something or alchemize something, fix something, correct something, right? And so let us look in the house systems where the Capricorn energy is to see what houses are being activated. And we can bring this transmission, this teaching, this Desert Rose teaching into the full moon, right? To celebrate the full moon, to receive the activation, to go outside and receive the light of the full moon. And also, this is a reminder to become emptied, right? To release all identity, all of our longings, all of our desires, and just be, so that we can access the Imma Illah and rebirth and expand in who we are, because your incarnation is important. We are here for something extremely important, all of us, right? And so the more we dive deep within to access this light and this beauty and the truth of who we are, the more truth there will be in our expansion, in our expression. And so a very, very beautiful message. And also on a very practical note, remember that Capricorn full moon is a reminder that half of the year is finished. We are on the other half, right? And so it is a beautiful reminder to see what we have done in the first half of the year, and we've got 6 months now to prioritize. And remember, Miryai Noohra, Imma Illah, slow down. To be able to really birth something and manifest something, we need to create the space for it to happen. And for that, we need to slow down. We need to think of the words we are using, right? We need to discern in the different things that we do in our life. We need to make more time for ourselves. And so with this beautiful reading, and I'm showing you again the cards, we are going to do a beautiful chant of Imma Illah together. We're going to chant her sacred name, her sacred frequency together. Imma Illah.
Imma
all identity, releasing it. Miryai Noohra, 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 Imma Illah, 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 Imma And inhale, exhale, and I'm wishing all of you a blessed full moon on July the 3rd. May these messages that we have received today remain within us infinitely. And just a reminder that on the 22nd of this month of July, there is the Mary Magdalene Feast Day celebration at our school. This is an online gathering that I have been doing for years and years since I opened up the school. Well, even before that, when I started the training in 2012. Wow, right? And so this is going to be magical. It is free of charge. The only exchange is respect for the teachings and the participants. Wishing you so much love. Thank you for your presence. And if you would like to share your reflections or ask any questions, please do so below. AHAVA.